Hello, hello. My name is Yvonne Wadley. For those of you that don't know me, I am a director here in Team Beauty Search. And I am super excited to come to you guys tonight because I love the video that Erin made yesterday with writing down the 3 goals for the day that you accomplished. That is so neat. And I just want to focus on if we had like one different element in our life, that might be the thing that needs to change, and then your whole life just changes for the better, right? So then the improved version of ourselves can begin with just one different little thing. I mean, a different reaction, a different word, a different investment, a different routine, a different perspective, different choice. And all of these things have to do with where our focus is at, right? Are we focusing on what we can control? Are we focusing on all these things that we have no control over? Like, I mean, what can we control? We can control going live. We can control exercising. We can control drinking more water so we can feel better. We can control that stuff, you know, but we cannot control who's going to sign under us, or if our kid's going to have a tantrum, or, I mean, up to a certain point we kind of can, but not really, because kids are kids and they're going to do their thing. But I think that if we focus on what we can control, then we'll feel more accomplished, because then we're not just a hamster going into a wheel trying to do things that we have no control over, right? So then, and then just kind of be flexible with and roll with it. And then also is like, how is your attitude? I mean, you can control your attitude, right? So is your attitude like okay, or are you like constantly like victimizing yourself, like the whole world is against you, or that kind of mentality, you know? I mean, I love you, but we're not that important. People have their lives and they do their thing, and just like you do your thing, right? So a lot of people operate on a victimized mentality, and I go there sometimes, and I have to come and pull myself out, because it's so easy to go there and then like, oh, poor me, and I'm doing all these things and nothing's working. It's like, well, switch it up, because it's not working, because you need to switch it up, you know, like and then am I being thankful, or am I complaining? So there's always something to complain about. We can always find, this brush is fantastic, whatever. We can complain about things. Oh, well, it's not natural fibers. For those of people that like natural fibers, well, it's not good enough, it's too heavy, or is this, is that. We all can find something to complain about. But I mean, how thankful are you for like your whole day? Your kid got up on time and got ready and whatever. And a lot of times we're like, well, that's what they're supposed to do. But what if they didn't? You know, like you would have been like having a fit or getting on his butt or whatever. But so we have to like appreciate and be grateful and thankful for all the things that, even though that's kind of how it's supposed to go, that it even went that way. You know, like, oh, my car drove me from A to B. Well, that's what it's supposed to do. Is it? But yeah, but you could have broken down in the way, you know? So like having a mentality of gratitude and thankfulness is always going to have you up here instead of in the dumps. And I've struggled with anxiety and depression and all kinds of stuff, and that is something that I have to be constantly very aware of, because if not, I can just go on a downward spiral, and then, hey, Yvonne, where are you, kind of thing, you know? So be aware of that, and you don't have to have these struggles to go in that path. Anyone can go in that path. And then how are you affecting your team by complaining and doing all that? And then how can we help others feel fulfilled sorry, English is my second language. Feel fulfilled, beautiful, confident, when we feel defeated and not good enough, when we're just focusing on all the negative and all the bad things and all the things that go wrong. Like how can we expect to be upbeat and feel good about what we're doing and encourage other people when we're in the dumps? We kind of can't, you know? So then are we taking responsibility, or are we blaming other people, you know? So that's like a shift that we have to make. If that's where you are, just make your shift. Like, that's one element that you can change, and you'll have different results, right? So then are you being yourself? Are you being authentic? Or are you comparing yourself to somebody else and how fast they rose, or how fast they're moving forward, and all these people that are joining them? It's amazing the collaboration that we have in this team. And I never worked for a company like direct sales or anything like that, but I really appreciate the collaboration. I really appreciate the somebody helping me out. I can ask a question to somebody that has nothing to do with my team or anything, and they will give me the answer, you know. So I really, really appreciate that. And that just comes with, I mean, I'm grateful for that. And then in turn, when that opportunity presents itself for me to do the same, I do the same. So then, are we growing? Or are we just comfortable? Are we just kind of like, okay, I'm good, it'll happen when it happens? Or are you like, but then wishing on another day, you're like, but it's not happening, you know? So we have to take responsibility for all these things. And then are we using our time effectively? Because a lot of times we can be on our phone all day, literally all day. We could be working, but we're not working, but we're not doing like our power hour stuff that needs to get done in order to move on. We are not working out. We're not drinking our water. We're not spending time with our husbands or our kids, because we're like sucked into this thing, and then we feel defeated because we're not moving forward. But it's like, okay, so what did you actually do? You know, so what I like to do is in the morning, I start with journaling and doing that kind of thing, and then I do a brain dump. So then I just write whatever I gotta write, and then that gives me like clear head. I stay off my phone for the first hour of the day, and then I move on to just carry on with my day and the plan and whatever I got going on. And then at night I do another hour of journaling and dumping everything on paper, because if it's here, it's gonna linger and linger and linger, and it's just gonna not let me sleep, because it's gonna be there being annoying. So then the next day in the morning, in that hour that I take off, I cross out the night before stuff that is not that is just like, okay, that was just a thought, I don't need to focus on that, that's not relevant, that's not important. Because that's when like throughout the day, if you have like free mind space, because you're not worried about, I can't forget this and I can't forget that, I gotta remember to send this person a card, I gotta remember to, this person's birthday's coming up, I gotta remember to get a present, this and all these things that we moms and people in general, we carry in our heads. If we do the brain dump, I know it sounds weird, if you do that, then it's already in paper. And it's so weird because it's easier to remember, even if you don't look at the paper, just the fact that you wrote it down, it's easier to remember. I don't know how that works with your brain, but that's how it works. So that is like a really good tool to use. Some people just do it once a day. I kind of do it throughout the day because I have ADD, so my head is like constantly going. And when I have all the stuff always going, I am not as creative. So I have to make sure that I do the dump to get rid of all the stuff that needs to get taken care of, so that I can have like free headspace, so I can be creative and do the things that I want to be creative with, whether it's taking pictures or doing limelight stuff or trying to figure out different ways of doing things. But mostly is, if you could change the way that your day goes, would you change it? Would you truly change it? Because a lot of times we say, oh yes, I just need more time. You know, we all have 24 hours. So depending on how we use them or invest them is what we're going to get out of them. So then try one different element. It might just be the start of a better life. So again, different reaction, different word. If your husband says something, use a different word. If your kid says something, have a different reaction. Invest, like, what are you investing your time, your money, your resources in? I mean, that has a lot to do with a lot of stuff too, because if we're just like investing all this time in Facebook because we're scrolling and pretending that we're working, or we think, a lot of times I think we think that we're actually working, but if we think about it, we're scrolling. And I mean, no, we're taking that time away from our children and our husband and ourselves, because now, well, I don't have time to work out. And then a different routine, mix it up a little bit, different perspective on things, be open-minded. And then you always have a choice. You always have a choice to do things different. You can always restart your day at whatever time of the day. If you're having a crappy day, it doesn't have to be crappy. If you're having a crappy morning, it doesn't have to be a crappy day. You can just like literally go dump, like just write it all down and get rid of it and then move on. Like one bad thing doesn't have to ruin your whole day. So that's all I got. I just literally, this has changed and improved my life greatly, and I just want to share that with you guys, because We all have choices every day, every single minute of the day, and we can all choose how we react and how we speak to each other and how we speak to ourselves, because we're usually the harshest to ourselves. So I'll let you guys go. Have a good night, and I hope this is helpful. Bye.